The players of the NWSL count on their teammates to have fancy footwork, work with their hands, and to keep their head in the game. You can count on more soccer action during Lifetime's NWSL Game of the Week. Brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
What do you mean it's not working out, Craig? I mean, I just introduced you to my parents.
Psst, Craig and Sheila broke up.
What? Really? Craig and Sheila broke up?
No.
Craig and Sheila
What happened?
Is she okay?
Never liked that guy.
Oh, that one's fine. Craig and Sheila broke up.
Craig and Sheila. As long as office gossip travels fast, you can count on Geico saving folks money.
Craig and Sheila broke up. What?
15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Welcome to the NWSL on Lifetime Ford Halftime Show. Ford, go further.
Halftime here at Providence Park, 1-1 between the Reign and the Thorns. Jess Fishlock got on the board early for the visitors, but then Lindsay Horan equalized with a great shot late in the first half. So we're here at 1-1, and as we mentioned in the first half, Megan Rapinoe, another one of the stars of this league, is not playing in this game right now for the Seattle Reign. Now that's good for the Thorns, but unfortunately for the Reign, that is the case. As you talk to players around this league and coaches, they will say that Rapinoe is one of the best players in the world, no doubt, and she's only gotten better now at 33 years old, which is pretty remarkable when you think about the old saying, Father Time is undefeated. But I will say this, he's having a tough battle with Megan Rapinoe. He might be losing.
I think there's a time in any athlete's career, if you play long enough, where your body changes, something changes, and you have to change or you get old like that. You can't do it at you're 22 and expect it to last till you're 35. It just is not possible. I had to reset, so switched my diet up, focused a lot more in the weight room, getting more fit than I had been, but sort of in a different way. I think in general, as an athlete, you don't have to get old. You can get past that, and a lot of times when people think of athletes, of course, they think we're disciplined and motivated and all of that, but what are you doing off the field? Are you making sure you're eating right? Are you resting enough? Are you recovering enough? Everything you do should be basically lending to you being the best that you can on the field.
At 33, Rapinoe is playing the best soccer of her life for both club and country, and as one of the most veteran players on the national team, Rapinoe is acutely aware of what her place on that team represents.
The women's national team is the most important group in women's soccer. I feel like throughout the generations, all of us have always taken very seriously and take a lot of pride in trying to make women's soccer as good as it can be, as big as it can be, as successful and as popular. I feel like we're the team in the position that has to do it and has had to do it for a long time. I think that the legacy of the U.S. women's national team will always be that push the game forward and that always left it in a better place than we found it. I think people talk about the experimentation a lot, but what's not talked about is that players that were, sort of generational type players, all those players were gone. So that's a pretty big experience vacuum, leadership vacuum, just really, frankly, badass player vacuum. And so to fill that with just anyone new is hard. It's like hard while you go through it, and it's frustrating while you go through it, but you have to. And we're coming out on the other side. If you want to define yourself, if you want to become a group that people talk about, a group that's differentiated from the other groups, then you win gold medals and you win world championships. Bottom line, that's the expectation. It's that or bust at all times for this team.
What a phenomenal player for both club and country. You saw that she was sporting a little bit of a shiner there. She picked that up in a collision with her U.S. international teammate Becky Sauerbrunn back in August. They will be playing together in World Cup qualifying the CONCACAF region coming up in October. Their group was just announced last week. Mexico, Trinidad, and Tobago, and Panama were the three teams they will be competing with. They get out of that group. The semifinals are upon them. The top three teams go automatically. They hope to go and defend their world title. As she said, that is the expectation for the red, white, and blue. The expectation for Jess Fishlock was to come in here and at least walk out with a point. They're in that position now. We'll see if it continues on the Ford Halftime Show. Ford, go further.
has always been different. There's a coldness.
Was that the first time someone you knew died?
No,
And I need you to tell me the truth.
Yeah.
I would never hurt anyone, Daddy.
She's lying to me, and I don't trust her anymore.
We weren't gonna do anything about it.
Who am I?
The Bad Seed premieres Sunday at 8 on Lifetime.
Smirnoff is the most awarded vodka brand of the decade. As a multi-award winner myself, I really respect that.
This one just says gentlest lover.
Oh, no, Nicole, that's private.
Well, you brought it here.
I know.
You wanted me to know.
Lifetime and Secret present Women of the NWSL on supporting each other.
I've got a great group of girls on my team, and every day we're just pushing each other.
There's something to admire in every single woman that I play with. Our team is strong because we're united.
We want to build this for the next generation because we're all in this together.
It is so important to lift each other up.
Catch more action on the Lifetime Game of the Week. Brought to you by Secret Deodorant. Elevate your performance with new Secret Active.
Welcome back to the Ford Halftime Show. Ford, go further.
What an exciting first half. Everything you would have expected. Our two teams tied 1-1 after the first 45 minutes. So, Allie, I think there's a lot to anticipate as we get ready for half number 2.
Of course, it's Seattle-Portland. I mean, this first half was pretty ridiculous, I think, for Portland, how they dominated. I know Mark Parsons initially said to us that they had to close down better. They're getting off too many shots, but it was really Portland, except for that early goal from Seattle. They came out pressed, and then they took advantage of it. And Jess Fishlock, probably one of the big bright spots for Seattle, was one who rifles that home. She just pushes off Emily Mangus, gets a little window to fire that one into that back post where Adriana Franch can't do anything. But then it was Portland, and look at Ellie Carpenter. There's so much space for her to go. She attacks at that first defender, and that creates this space for Midge Purse to open up, pull herself wide, and now she can see the field. She can see the box, and she opens up her body, just slides that across side foot, and you get the two runners in the box, the near post, and then the second with Sinclair. She can't make the right play on it, but guess who's there to slot that one home? It's Lindsay Horan. Again, it's Carpenter who opens it all up by driving it Catley, and then Horan, watch her technique, boom. It's that quick release that allows that ball to stay down under the crossbar.
Horan setting a new Portland single-season record with her 12th goal of the season, and it tied this one up. This has been the Ford Halftime Show. Ford, go further. Second half now underway for Providence Park, Portland, Oregon. 1-1 our scoreline between these two Cascadia rivals. Seattle striking first. Portland coming up with the answer through that woman, Lindsay Horan, in the 30th minute.
Just want to catch you guys up. I talked to Black Andonovsky about what needs to happen for them in the second half to walk out of here with the point. He said first and foremost, got to clean up the unforced errors. Have to solve the problem behind Jody Taylor when they're out of possession. Feels like Jess Fishlock is being asked to run too much side to side. You can look for Rumi Utsugi, who just played that ball, number 20, to play higher up the field and alleviate some of that problem. And last but not least, just said play brave. We got to be courageous out here.
Well, and Dallin, I know Jess Fishlock is a warrior, but yeah, you have to be careful of the workload asked of her with such a thin bench for Seattle. Portland definitely has the edge in terms of depth at this point as Heath cuts it in, left-footed ball across. Carpenter to it. Bure. Klingenberg. Here is Fishlock. Remember that a point is all Seattle needs in this one, a point or a win, and they will be hosting and stay at second as Horan bullies her way out of the ball to take that one. Portland needs a goal. They need a win to host in the semifinal. Both of these teams are in the playoffs, but who will get home field advantage?
was the turnover, this double up with Lindsey Horan coming in, and then you get Caitlin Ford posted up. She lays that ball back, plays the way she's facing. Sinclair, the little deflection, takes the sting off her shot.
Taylor, leading scorer for Seattle, over to Fishlock.
But Jen, to go back to what Dallin was saying and what Vlatko wants to see out of his side, I would argue that they need to pick up the second ball. You're seeing Morgan Andrews and Tsugi win that first header, but it's Portland cleaning up that next ball time and time again in that little space in front of those two defensive center mids.
In your mind, Allie, where does Seattle miss the likes of a Megan Rapinoe and an Allie Long the most?
Well, there's a couple. I mean, I only got a few seconds, but with Rapinoe, the threat of her ability going 1v1, 1v2 to get in behind, it makes you stay home. Ellie Carpenter's having a field day, really rotating and getting forward, so you can be more attack-oriented if you're Portland. And then obviously she can create something out of nothing. Allie Long, her ability to dictate in the center of the park, much like Lindsey Horan, to change the point, to pick it off the backs and dictate tempo. You said early in that first half that it was 60-40 in possession. Well, Allie Long would help alleviate that for Seattle. Or I guess balance that out, I should say.
Let's not overlook the absence of Teresa Nielsen as well, who just is coming off a heavy workload on international duty. She was named to the NWSL Team of the Month the last 2 months. It's an outside back. Denmark, one of 4 teams who will go into a playoff for that final qualifying spot from UEFA for next summer's World Cup, as Midge Purse glides forward with the ball, eventually has it poked away. But Tobin Heath snuck back in there. Gets her shot up and scores!
Well, it was from agony to ecstasy. Watch the frustration on Tobin Heath. She wanted that ball from Midge Purse earlier. She's frustrated. She's almost taking the play off. And then she sneaks in, catches Kristen Westphal sleeping, and then she's got the time and space to curl that far post. What a brilliant finish from her. You can just see it tucking into that back post, out of reach of Lydia Williams. No one steps. Oyster's there, but she actually tries to challenge with her back leg, doesn't go with her lead leg, and that allows that shot to get off with no deflection.
Kristen Westphal had done a nice job initially defensively, but then maybe caught watching a little bit, and you cannot do that when you have Tobin Heath in the vicinity.
No, but how many times do coaches get frustrated with players when they put their head down, they get frustrated, they unplug for 1 second, and then Tobin Heath just clued back in and reaped the reward.
Put that frustration to good use. So it's been 2 unanswered goals from Portland as they take the lead after trailing in the 4th minute. All the momentum in favor of the Thorns. Our referee's going to back up Tobin Heath before allowing that throw. 7th goal of the season for Tobin in NWSL. Her 6th in just the last 9 matches, and she's coming off having started the last 4 matches, getting healthy for the U.S. women's national team, had a goal, 3 beautiful assists in those 2 friendlies against Chile. Another team going to the Women's World Cup. The momentum just building here in Providence Park, as it is wont to do. 31 straight matches the Thorns have scored at least 1 goal at home. They're unbeaten in their last 5 home matches, and Heath does not like the reversal of that call, but the odd throw from Addo really just gave it right back to Portland. Carpenter begging for it on the far side, but some pressure from Spencer wouldn't allow Bure to get rid of it. Sonnet will do the job, get it forward. Hurst. Fishlock. Spencer touching it toward Taylor. No foul in the eyes of Timothy Ford. And Carpenter just eating up the ground in front of her with every step. The last connection a little off with Ford. Oyster. The referee is going to say Oyster was fouled by Ford. It's a brave place on the field to make that call.
And a little extracurricular activity, it looked like, from Oyster after the fact. But Ford's just trying to get around the edge and not let this go out of bounds over the end line. Sharply dressed, but not loving that call.
I think I could understand why. It's tough to see on that replay how that was really called against Ford. Singing ZZ Top lyrics in my head. I'll keep that to myself. Thanks very much, Ali, for that one.
Please enlighten me.
Sharp-dressed man. Addo. Remember, she started the goal for Seattle in the 4th minute. Got it to Fishlock. Morgan Andrews has had to play a bigger and bigger role down the stretch for the Seattle team as some injuries have kept other players out of the lineup.
Ford's run there didn't get rewarded, but watching her movement off the ball at the top of your screen in between really 2 center backs right now is so good. Just making those center backs question where they should be, where their heads has to be on a swivel, always looking to pick her up.
Ford pestering Oyster. He won it. But Portland unable to keep it. Here comes Catley. The outside backs have been big in the attack for Portland, not so for Seattle. Catley has that ability if she can get there. Likelihood these two teams meet one another again, either here or in Seattle in the first round of the NWSL playoffs next week. Only one scenario that exists that would have any different kind of a matchup. That is a Seattle win tonight and a Chicago win against Utah tomorrow. That would move Chicago into the 3 spot to face Seattle at Memorial Stadium. Portland would face North Carolina in Cary next Sunday. Klingenberg. Bure back to Carpenter, who's been busy, just couldn't hang on to the ball that time. What a promising future there is for that young lady, just 18 years old. Was a part of the Olympics 2 years ago, youngest Olympian ever for Australia. And Bure and Spencer both down.
It's Carpenter that's up on the back of Spencer initially. And then it's as she's trying to wriggle free, they collide. You can see Spencer gets it in the head. Just a little shove from behind by Carpenter, and then they knock heads.
Well, what's a rivalry without a little blood, one way or the other, being shed? You know, I think we've talked about this before with Celeste Murray. Started now the last 12 matches, including tonight for Portland. You talk so much about their other signature players, as you should, when you have a Lindsay Horan, a Tobin Heath, a Christine Sinclair. But she has played a really important role, Celeste.
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of it is, as we say, unnoticed, because she just shields that back line. She shifts side to side and provides cover for those outside backs if they get isolated 1v1 in those wide areas. But a couple times tonight, and this has been a recurring theme, she does get caught on the ball. She does force some, there are some unforced errors out of her, and so that's something that opponents will likely try to key on. They don't want Horan to be the one to play out. They want Bure to be the one to play out.
Well, she gets back to her feet. We'll take a quick moment, look back at our goals. It started in the 4th minute. Jess Fishlock loving the start for her Seattle team, but then the 30th minute, Lindsay Horan coming through for Portland. That one tied it, and then just after halftime, Tobin Heath got free. That was the result. 2-1 the lead for Portland as Megan Rapinoe, Allie Long, and Kirsten Dahlstream looking on, and that's their seats. Well, I don't know if they have any friendly Seattle fans around there. Of course, Allie Long spent so much of her career here in Portland. Now her first year in Seattle. So after that collision and everyone back on their feet, it is going to result in a free kick for Seattle. Both of these teams dangerous in scenarios like this one. Franch coming out bravely for it. Boy, is that Spencer again? Took the worst of it on the punch from Franch.
And that did not look like a good challenge from Sonnet at first glance.
Kristen Westphal is down. I do believe the yellow card is coming out for Sonnet. Sonnet given the no Fishlock, you stay out of here. Emily Sonnet is nothing if not intense. I remind you that nobody in danger of missing a playoff match as Sonnet gets the yellow. No more accumulation at this point. There's the punch away from Franch. Actually, I think that was Addo who was knocked down, and there's the foul from Sonnet. So she is booked, and Fishlock more than happy to take the free kick. Bends it toward Utsugi. Taylor, was she onside? Nope.
And initially you think this ball needs to get over that back line of Portland. I don't know if this is a planned set piece. Taylor finds herself just behind that back line, clear offside.
It sure looked like Fishlock had every intention of getting it to Utsugi with the delivery of that ball.
But you almost wonder why not save that for next week.
Well, you wonder how much of that there is with these two teams. As we said, a pretty high likelihood they'll face one another again. There already, you expect there'll be some differences for Seattle. With Rapinoe, pretty certain we will see her back. Allie Long maybe still a little bit of a question mark, and Celeste Bure as the bleeding stops, so she's back on the field for Portland.
Just as Timothy Ford gets in between Addo and Horan, to add to what you were saying about Allie Long and Megan Rapinoe, they both told me before the match, if this was the playoff game, they both would 100% be playing. Allie did train this week. She feels good, but just wants to work on her fitness a little bit more as the yellow card is handed out. On the other side, Rapinoe, the rib injury is a bit strange, but she's working through it, and she says she 100% will be playing next week. There's nothing to keep them out of that game.
Great to hear that, Dallin, as we have yellow cards handed out, 2 minutes apart. Elizabeth Addo just making herself quite familiar with the intensity of this rivalry. Her first year with Seattle after coming over in the offseason from the dispersal draft from Boston. although did not play there, was just signed there in the offseason. So this is her first year in the NWSL. Welcome to the Cascadia rivalry. That ball slipped through to Purse. Thorns calling for it, trying to hold the run. Purse working around the defense, takes the shot, and took a deflection and went out of bounds. It will be a corner for Seattle. Oh, there is a lot of contact, some of which is being seen by our referee, some I suspect is not.
Well, once this ball slides through the Purse, she has a little bit of time to pick up her head, and then she backs Oyster into her own box, and why not have it go there? But you can see it gets the deflection off of Morgan Andrews' hand there. Hand, elbow, you call it. It's her whole arm. They missed that one.
Corner. I know it hit her. Just look like she had it tucked in. Portland's corner. I believe I said Seattle before. My apologies for that. Second corner of the match for Portland. Back in from Carpenter and nearly made something of it. Told you Sonnet was going to be in the mix at some point.
And it's just a resurface from the set piece. This one's lofted in, and Emily Sonnet rises above, and again it's a deflection. This time it's fair. It's off Jess Fishlock's face, and that saves Lydia Williams.
Tobin Heath will come over to the near corner and try her luck. Gonna play this one short. Now she's looking for delivery perhaps, but didn't work out. We'll get the throw. In goes to Ford. Westphal got there for Seattle. Andrews couldn't quite keep it in.
Herner and Sugi have had their work cut out for them tonight, controlling in front of that back line.
Latko Andonovski told us, we talked to him earlier today, his team was coming into this match with kind of a us against the world mentality. He said, I think the whole world wants Portland to win. They love that crowd there at Providence Park. So raucous. But we're going to use that as our motivation. Spoil the party if possible, but now they're going to have to find another goal to do so.
Well, they came out with so much pressure in that first half. They got that early goal. But I don't know, it's the chicken or the egg. Did their pressure wane, or was it Portland really stretching them out and not allowing that pressure to arrive as quickly?
To hang on to it enough for Callie to come around and get on the ball. Got the cross off, it got to Spencer, now to Fishlock. The shot from Utsugi won't challenge French. We know that the NWSL Championship game will be right here at Providence Park 2 weeks from tomorrow on Saturday, September 22nd. That will be at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific, broadcast live on Lifetime. You can go to nwslsoccer.com for more information. So we know that will be here. Will the semifinal be here as well and be a true home field advantage for Portland all the way through the playoffs? If this score holds, that's exactly what will happen as Haran again involved in a nasty collision, this time with Morgan Andrews. And I mean, as intense as this rivalry is, both teams, you know, want to come out of it without anybody else having to be sidelined.
And it's on the entry pass that comes into Haran. She's trying to roll her defender. Morgan Andrews bites. Right here, all eyes right there by Morgan Andrews on the ball, and she goes into that back leg of Lindsay Haran. Clear foul.
Haran, tough as nails though, jogs it off, and she is as always, an important target anytime there's a set piece. This ball drops down to Klingenberg, had time. It's a little beyond the reach of Heath initially, but she gets to it, just beats Addo to the ball. And then, in the eyes of the referee, commits a foul. See her thoughts. Trying to work it up to Ford. We do have one change first of the match. It will be the Danish international Teresa Nielsen. She'll replace Kristen Westphal. Nielsen, as I mentioned, NWSL Team of the Month, a regular in this starting lineup at right back for Seattle. Not sure Vlatko Andonovski wanted to have to bring her in. She was pretty gassed after playing a full 180 minutes, played every minute of the two qualifiers for Denmark, and then just got back from Denmark on Wednesday. Horan, what a ball through to Ford. What do you make of that substitution, Allie?
I think just a lot was asked of Westphal and having to deal with Tobin Heath, and he wanted her up really tight on her, so every time she received the ball, she'd have immediate pressure, and I thought she did a fine enough job, but with Tobin Heath, you can only give her so many looks. She's gonna break you down, and now it's about probably getting fresh legs in there and a little run out.
Yeah, because Nielsen does give you that as well. She creates several opportunities usually by getting up and down, getting into the attack.
But again, we'll just see how conservative or aggressive they are. Trying to pick up that second equalizer.
Spencer caught offside. Well, we hope you are enjoying the first ever NWSL Game of the Week on Lifetime in prime time. The final match of the regular season for these two teams, Portland and Seattle. The Portland Thorns on top 2-1 after they trailed in the 4th minute. Came back to take the lead. If they hang on, they get the opportunity to host a semifinal right here in Providence Park against this Seattle team for the rematch next week.
Vlatko wanted his players to be brave. You just saw 2 occasions of that. With Morgan Andrews rolling her defender, and then Addo solving pressure. She gave it away in the end, but those are little glimpses that you want to see out of players, especially heading into next week if it is a rematch.
Fishlock towards Spencer. She is called for the foul in her attempt to win that in the air. Toward Purse, it's going to bounce back down, and it's the efforts of Utsugi, important to win it for Seattle. Seattle team fighting not only the Portland Thorns, but this sellout crowd here at Providence Park. Over 21,000, 5th all-time. The Thorns sell it out. Why not? You live around here, why wouldn't you be here to take in this match? Might have had a few fans trickling in a little late. Allie, you and I were looking around at the beginning saying, why do I see some empty seats? So maybe just took them a little time to get here at that Friday traffic, but
no,
can't blame them.
My husband and my kids were coming to the match and they said they couldn't get in, the lines were so long.
Oh, really?
That's why the seats were empty.
Hope everybody got in, because you would not want to miss this one.
Well, maybe you would want to miss the first 5 minutes if you're a Portland fan.
Seattle, meanwhile, really trying to figure out a way back into this match. It has gotten very physical, I'd say, in the last 15 minutes in particular. A lot of fouls, a lot of disruption, not a ton of rhythm for either team. On it towards Sinclair. There's Nielsen. Came off the bench tonight for Seattle. Foul, and if that, oh, it's Nielsen. I was trying to see exactly who our referee was coming over to. Remember, Addo, who's right there as well, already has a yellow card. Nielsen hasn't been in the game long, and she gets a talking to.
Well, Tobin Heath will do this to you. She sees that second defender coming and makes her move exactly as that pressure arrives, draws the foul. So smart.
And as Tobin Heath gathers herself, Vlatko Andonovski is going to make his second substitution. What a good sign for the Seattle Reign team to have Beverly Yanez coming back. She's been out the last 5, broke her foot. Her last appearance was July 21st. She will replace Rumi Utsugi.
I'll be interested to see if this shifts their formation at all. Beverly Yanez is more of an attacking-minded midfielder if she does slide in there for Utsugi.
Sonnet over to Haran. Well, Seattle just one shot in the second half, so they need a shot of something in the attack. Sinclair went flying toward that ball. Eats down again. It is Addo who committed the foul.
Giving the ball back to Tobin Heath because she's drawing foul after foul. She beats Addo to the ball, tries to hold off the pressure. And he's saying, protect my player, please.
Yeah. An absolute difference maker, Tobin Heath. And the beauty of it for her is now she gets an opportunity to do one of the many things she does very well. Set it up from a free kick. She waits for the whistle. There's the ball driven toward Haran. The follow-up shot, not a very strong one, and Williams quick to pounce. Seattle hoping to counter. Taylor will take the quick shot. French taking their chances. Remember, it was Jody Taylor who had the game winner in the 89th minute of a 1-0 win for Seattle at Memorial Stadium the last time these two teams played. And that was a match If you watch the highlights and you're a Portland Thorns fan, you wouldn't believe that they did not get a goal. As Caitlin Ford gets involved in a game of pinball. She's the ball. Yanez was blocked by the referee, fouled Horan in frustration, and I think right now he has got to find a way to get a hold of this match.
And not get in the way of it.
That too.
Look, there's just a lot of 1v1 situations happening right now between these two. No one's being patient when they're defending. Yanez thinks she gets there first with the ball.
Reminder that in the 3-2 affair won by Seattle here in the first meeting of the season between these two teams, of the 5 goals, 4 of them were scored off of set pieces. Tobin ready to tee one up for the Thorns. The runners take off. She puts it toward the back post though. A little behind the fray moving forward. Fouls so far called in this match. 13 for Seattle, 11 for Portland. This throw is going to have to be backed up as well for Callie. Those people who sold out the seats at Providence Park tonight might just want to be getting ready, because if this score holds, they get a chance to come back and take in this exact same matchup next Saturday. Regardless of location, next Saturday's semifinal will kick off 3 p.m. Eastern, our coverage either from Seattle or Portland. And then on Sunday, we'll go across the country to Cary, North Carolina for that one. Horan saw the contact coming, stayed with it.
Again, people just winning their individual duels. That time it's Purse who just blows by Catley. Catley bites on it, and then she draws 2 defenders, slots it out wide to Caitlin Ford, who has a nice angle on this. You can see she's just trying to drift it far post. Parsons can't believe she didn't finish that. For all the work that Ford's been doing tonight, to not be on the receiving end of a goal seems a little unjust.
Third save of the match for Lydia Williams. The ball from Heath. Williams is in!
Jen, you talked about the set-piece efficiency of these teams the last time they met up. Well, here it is again. This one's just lofted in. Not a lot of pace on it, but it's Lindsay Horan. No one's on her. Clear path to the ball. She rises up. Lydia Williams off her line, and no man's land. She nods that one down. I mean, you just can't react to this. And Teresa Nielsen, who's supposed to be on the post, she slides over to cover in behind, and she slid too far because that went in between her and the post. What a finish by Horan. So lethal there. She's already had 5 goals with her head this year. Now that's 6.
And it is the 13th of the season for Lindsey Horan. When she got number 12 earlier, that was already a single season record for Portland. Now watch out Sam Kerr. Sam Kerr trying to become the first back-to-back Golden Boot winner. She's with Chicago, of course, has 15 goals, the Australian international. Horan climbing back up behind her now with 13.
Just consider for a second, I mean, we know how effective Lindsey Horan is on set pieces, but consider the positions they play. Sam Kerr, a striker. Opportunity after opportunity. Lindsey Horan playing a deep center mid with runs out of midfield, and her ability to finish this season, fantastic.
And who does a ton of defensive work, too, in Lindsey Horan.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well done from Bure. It around Fishlock. Spencer trying to keep some hope alive for Seattle. Back to Fishlock for the shot. It was blocked. All hands on deck defensively for Portland. Hurst in the corner. For Portland got shuffled around a little bit. No Anna Sornogorcevic in the starting lineup tonight as she came back from international duty. You have Caitlin Ford in the middle. No Haley Rasso out with injury. So Midge Purse out there on that right wing. And of course there's Tobin Heath. Goal and an assist for Heath. Sinclair. Semi-final weekend in the NWSL starts next Saturday, live on Lifetime, 3 p.m. Eastern, and then semi-final number 2 on Sunday, live on ESPN2, same time, 3 p.m. Eastern. That one will be in Cary, North Carolina, and it is looking like we are coming back to Portland for semi-final number 1. Be the first time since the NWSL has had a predetermined championship site, we know it's going to be here in Providence Park, that a team will have a true home field advantage in both the semifinal and the championship.
What an advantage it could be. This place is oppressive for opponents who walk in here.
Crowd applauding the efforts of Caitlin Ford. And she makes way for Tyler Lucy, former Princeton all-time leading goal scorer. Hurst giving you a little more to like. Kelly with the foul.
Hurst is really taking it to Catley tonight. That last goal or last attack was initiated from Hurst beating her, and then here again, she just gets herself free, and Catley comes in late on her.
Johnson now coming in to replace Elizabeth Addo.
A player we haven't seen much of. JC Johnson was highly touted from Nebraska, but had torn her ACL and really hasn't made her mark in the NWSL yet. She was with North Carolina, I believe, for a stint.
Time ticking away against Seattle. chess pieces will shift a week from tomorrow as Fishlock, who got the scoring started tonight for Seattle, leads the charge as she so often does in one way or another.
But the recovery effort from Portland again, they just swarm back centrally, and it's so hard to break down.
Seattle will, of course, add some important pieces. Dallin told you earlier, he talked to both Megan Rapinoe and Allie Long, who told him if this is the playoffs, win or your season's over, yes, they're playing. And you can bet they really wanted to play in this one regardless. Allie coming back to her former team, and, well, it's Seattle and Portland, so you know how Megan Rapinoe feels about that.
I just think it makes that next matchup even more tantalizing, because there's so many pieces that were really left off the pitch tonight for Seattle, and how does that change the way they approach the match? How does it change the way Portland does?
All right. All things we'll get to delve into next week. Spencer got her way through and does get the corner kick.
I mean, tonight to me, Jen, has been about individual duels. You just saw it with Jazz Spencer. You've seen it with Purse against Catley. You've seen it all over the pitch. It's just players taking on their defender, beating them, and usually cover is far away. And so you're seeing transition from both sides, more so for Portland. But it's something both coaches will want to rectify.
Morgan Andrews to take it. Drives it across toward Yanez. Ball bouncing in the box. Yanez had it heading toward goal. Portland, though, somehow averts the danger. In the corner if possible. Portland looking at the opportunity to host a semifinal for the third straight year. They won here against Orlando last season 4-1 en route to eventually winning the NWSL championship. They lost in 2016 in another epic battle against the Western New York Flash, a franchise that has since relocated and continued its winning ways as the North Carolina Courage. 4 minutes of stoppage time, the minimum added on to the end of this one. Lauren Barnes haven't even called her name all that much tonight, but a staple in the defense back there for Seattle. Took it away from Purse that time. Portland got down early in this match and did not let it fluster them. They found their way back into the match and have really pretty much had their way with things since then, scoring 3 unanswered goals. I think the crowd likes Mitch Purse up there in that attacking role. What do you think?
As they should. Again, just wreaking havoc against Catley on that far side when she cuts in, when she opts to go around the edge. I mean, she's the one who slotted that ball across initially for the first goal for Portland, then Moran finished. Fantastic night for her, stepping up and with big shoes to fill without Haley Rasso in this squad.
certainly don't discount the fight in Seattle by any means, but just has not been their night, have not been able to do what they would like to do. But the good news for them is they get another shot at it right back here on this field a week from tomorrow. These two teams have never met in the playoffs, so if you thought tonight was intense, oh boy, just wait until next Saturday. If you're Seattle, Allie, what would you say is top of your list in terms of areas in which to be better? Well, they would help.
I was just going to say, get Allie Long and Rapinoe healthy. I mean, they're game changers for you. They're going to be able to help dictate the play. Andrusina is one of those players, too, for Portland that can kind of control a match. And you can hear the love for that woman, Tobin Heath. What a fantastic night she had. When she wasn't beating her player, she was drawing fouls, earning set pieces, pulling apart the defense really with her positioning.
Yeah, do me a favor, remind me not to ask you a question I expect you to respond to when Tobin Heath is doing something, even coming off the field, because it's going to get loud in here.
She's always doing something.
Goal and an assist for her tonight in this effort for Portland. French gave up that early goal, but has been solid since when she's been tested. Big night for Lindsey Horan, and she is getting some hugs and then getting ready to chat with Dallin.
She's getting mobbed right now. We're going to bring her in. Klingenberg's going to hang out. She's going to yell a little bit. She's going to hose me down. Congratulations. Fantastic game. What does it say about this team? What kind of win is this? What does it feel like right now? Not just to win the game, but to beat Seattle, the manner in which you did, and to clinch a home semifinal next week.
Oh, it's huge. I mean, it's always a big game playing against our rival team, and I think it's so entertaining for the fans, and then being here at home and winning like this is incredible. But, you know, we have a semi again next week, so we got to look to that now.
We'll see you in 8 days. We can't wait.
Sounds good. Thanks.
When you consider what a leader this woman has become for this squad, go back a year and what a difference it makes. I mean, the leading goal scorer as a defensive center mid, remarkable performance, stepping up in the big moments.
Huge night for Lindsey Horan. Big night for Tobin Heath as well. Goal and an assist. And the Portland Thorns had a little bit of a tougher task. A draw was not going to be enough for them tonight. They needed the win. They needed the full 3 points, and they did it. Extend their unbeaten stretch to 6 in a row at home. They are rolling as they head into the NWSL playoffs. We'll be here for it. Expect another packed house at Providence Park.
It's a very different game.
There was some enjoy this. I was going to say, you know, they're already planning and thinking about having to do this all over again next week. Little celebration too as well, and well deserved for this Portland Thorns team that seems to have really found its stride here down the last few weeks of the season in particular.
And especially because of those two women, Tobin Heath, Lindsey Horan. They're so dynamic going forward, and I just think they're a force to be reckoned with in the playoffs. Look out.
They certainly proved that tonight. Well, we are wrapped up with the regular season of the NWSL on Lifetime, but the NWSL continues next weekend with semifinal playoff action Saturday on Lifetime. We return here to Portland for the rematch as the Thorns host the Seattle team. On Sunday, we'll go cross country to Cary, North Carolina as the Courage host the Chicago Red Stars on ESPN2. Semifinal match coverage beginning each day at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Our final score, Portland 3-1. They get the win over their rivals from the north. What a match it was. For Allie Wagner and Dallin Cuff, I'm Jen Hildreth. Hope you enjoyed this special edition of the NWSL in primetime on Lifetime.